Blizzards, ice, and chills. The weather is getting colder around the country. Our weather anchor Gabby Cardin can update us on the weather world.
A $2 billion payout. The Powerball lottery has announced one lucky winner.
And what does the passing of Denton's Preposition B mean for residents? This and more coming up.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
I'm Austin Wright.
And I'm Olivia Thompson.
You know, Olivia, I've been grabbing a jacket before going to class every day, but I've been finding out I don't really need it.
Well, Austin, you're no weather genie, but we can ask our weather anchor, Gabby Cardin, who's the closest we can get to predicting the future. Gabby?
Thanks, y'all. Now, I hate to say it, Austin, you're definitely going to want to keep that jacket around, especially after today. Today is potentially the last warm day we're going to have in a while, but I'll talk about that in a second. We have another round of storms coming our way into DFW and North Texas. The first one happening later this evening with rain chances at 80%. Even our neighbors up in North and Oklahoma are experiencing some severe storms right now. And you can see these rains are going to move in. It's going to be not too heavy of a storm, but it is going to be some rain. So if anything you got to do outside, take your dog out, anything like that, probably do it before tonight. But as we're talking about Texas weather, there's something important we want to note. Today was most likely our last warm day, as I said, for the next few months. And the recent storms we've had have brought cold fronts that are taking us into the winter months. Now, according to the NOAA and the National Weather Service, as you can see, these temperatures are going to be cold in Texas, but they're actually warmer than our average years. But we're not going to see anything above 80 degrees probably until March of next year. And let's go ahead and look at our current conditions so we can kind of see what that's going to look like. So 71 degrees right now, low wind speed, 71 is the feel like as well. So nothing too crazy right now. As we go into tonight, as expected, the temperature is going to drop as the sun goes down and the moon comes out. We're going to have 69 degrees, some really nice weather, and some lower wind speeds at 5 miles per hour. Now say goodbye to the 60s and 70s as we go to tomorrow. This is at 10 a.m., 50 degrees. It feels even cooler at 44. So Austin, that jacket is going to be needed tomorrow, especially with those high wind speeds at 18 miles per hour. You're going to get that cold wind on your face. It's going to sting, guys. Now, outside of Texas and along the southeast coast, Tropical Storm Nicole is having an impact on Florida. It had a historic landfall as a Category 1 hurricane as it moved along the coast. Kristen Nguyen from CNN has the full story.
And the waves just keep on coming.
Nicole is on the move after becoming the first hurricane to make U.S. landfall in November in nearly 40 years. The storm system weakening as it goes north.
Dangerous beach conditions will continue along the East Coast as a result of elevated tides.
The threat of severe weather now stretching across at least 3 states. Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina bracing for possible tornadoes. Destructive wind and rain embedded within Nicole's outer bands. South Carolina already seeing the effects as streets in Charleston begin to flood.
A coastal flood warning shall remain into effect as seas are expected to remain 2 to 3 feet above normal levels.
Back in Florida, the damage is widespread. Some homes and buildings are collapsing into the ocean, triggering evacuations. Hundreds of thousands of people are without power. Flights are canceled. Schools shut down. And in Lauderdale by the Sea, this portion of a pier partially collapsed.
There's still some wind and rain happening out there. There's really no reason to be out there. Please take care of each other.
But officials say it could have been worse, saying Nicole's peak winds coincided with low tide, which limited the storm surge and flooding on the shore, sparing some beach communities.
It's safe to say that we dodged a bullet here in Indian River County. We're pleased that we have not received much to any reports of damage at this time.
Plain blue. Now, meanwhile, Florida is still in the early stages of cleanup after Hurricane Ian hit just in the end of September. Now, that's all I have for First Look weather and more. Let's go back to the desk.
Thanks, Gabby. It seems like Florida just can't catch a break this year, especially with Hurricane Ian occurring just a few weeks ago.
And I know, I agree, but in true Texas spirit, our own Denton Municipal Electric Company is providing much needed relief in the aftermath of that hurricane.
Here in southwest Florida tonight, Ian struck as a Category 4 hurricane, just shy of a Category 5, and the major damage to infrastructure across the region. Nearly 2 million people still without power in this state tonight.
We got the call about 2 weeks prior to the storm hitting, and they requested us to be on standby.
We
got the opportunity to go down into Hurricane Ian and help them out with all the bad weather and everything that happened down in there.
We started first doing mutual aid work around 2004, 2005. We're all members of the American Public Power Association, which is all municipalities, city-owned entities. And there's mutual aid response. We're on a list with that group to get called out first to help these municipalities. 90% of the time, we're helping other city-owned power companies.
Typically, the way it works is we'll put a list of names together of people who are willing to go, and then we go down the list and kind of balance it out to see who's gone previously and who hasn't gone. We took 2 crews and a couple service trucks, and we went over there and provided mutual aid. We would roll up to a subdivision and we'd assess the damage and see what we had to do. Then we would get to work.
A lot of the poles that we were working on were located in a lot of backyards, next to a lot of water, not a lot of places where we could get buckets to. We just had to start climbing and put everybody back in service.
It's kind of hard sometimes for these smaller utilities to find help. So we kind of help each other like one big family organization.
Seeing the people come out and be overjoyed and give you a thank you is definitely a great feeling.
All the guys that we went down there with all worked hard, worked together, and just a blessing to go out and help others out when they needed it.
The DME is part of a mutual aid agreement with other cities and towns across the nation. This means when natural disasters hit, they're all set up to help. North Texas was on the receiving end of that help back in February during our deadly winter storm that took down the Texas power grid. That is great work from our Denton community. Let's hope they don't get called north, as the first blizzards of the season are slamming into parts of North Dakota and Minnesota. Heavy snow, gusting winds, and whiteouts are causing extremely dangerous driving conditions. In some places, there is already a foot of snow, and highway officials have issued no travel warnings in several areas. It is possible that up to 2 feet of snow could end up in Bismarck, North Dakota, with sleet and freezing rain predicted in other parts of the state. If you're looking for a way to beat inflation for a while, Connection with Your Community Just Between Friends has you covered. Our reporter Annabelle Araiza is at the community resale market with more information.
Thanks, Austin. I'm here at the Just Between Friends pop-up sale, and this event, the community comes and takes their gently used items and resells them at a discounted price. This provides a great opportunity for the people to connect and make a profit on items that they're just laying around at the house. Some of the items consist of clothes, toys, shoes, and baby gear. Here with me I have our event coordinator, Amber. Amber, can you tell me a little bit about what is Just Between Friends?
So Just Between Friends in Denton is a twice-a-year community event where over 300 families come and sell their gently used children's items to other families in the community that can take advantage to discounts 50 to 90% off retail.
That's amazing. It helps a lot of families. Can you tell me how long it's been you've been working with Just Between Friends, and how long it's been here in Denton?
So Just Between Friends in Denton has been around for over 10 years, but I've actually been the event coordinator since 2017.
That's amazing. So about 5 years, right?
Yeah, 5 years.
And what is the local impact here in Denton?
So not only do average families earn $350, but we also have a great connection with our charity partner, Denton County Friends of the Family and Hope Clothing and Food Bank up in Aubrey. Our community has donated over 50,000 items over the last 12 months to those charities.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, this event is going to continue until the 13th here at 222 South Mayhill Road. Sorry, it's a little tongue twister. And we'll be in Collin County on the 30th. I'm going to go back and see if I can find some great deals. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Annabelle. One lucky winner, a $2 billion jackpot. More on that coming up.
And Proposition B passed on Tuesday. However, there's still more to know about how this will impact Denton. We'll cover this and more coming up next.
Are you feeling okay? No, I've been feeling gross all week. Maybe we should go get a COVID test. But I already have all 3 of my shots. Yeah, but you can still get it. I mean, maybe we should go get one just in case. Yeah, you're right. We have that party and all that. Yeah. Where do we even get tested here? Let me check. You can find free COVID testing sites at the University Union, room 381 on weekdays, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., and on weekends, 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., and at Chestnut Hall, room 120 from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. You have to show the QR code given to you when you arrive for an appointment. Tests take no longer than 10 minutes to complete. Results will be sent through text or email within the next 48 hours.
I got a negative COVID test. Me too. Oh my god, let's go to the party. Yes. Let's go.
Hey man, are you okay in there? You look
Tuesday's election brought new ordinances for North Texas. One of those that passed was Proposition B in Denton City. ntTV's Peter Ray Bull has more with what this means for local residents.
Thanks, guys. On election night this past Tuesday, Denton voters were given the opportunity to vote on Proposition B, or Prop B, which relates to the city's marijuana enforcement. The vote ended in a record-breaking 32,610 votes in favor, over 70%, and the city plans to put the ordinance into effect on November 18th during a special meeting. Once in effect, Prop B solidifies the City of Denton Police's current policy that low-level amounts of marijuana are not a priority for the department. However, due to current federal and state laws, there are some exceptions to this policy. Prop B and the City of Denton do not have the authority to fully decriminalize marijuana, and City of Denton Police are still allowed to use discretion when faced with marijuana cases. Prop B also does not affect law enforcement agencies outside of the City of Denton, which includes campus authorities on the University of North Texas and Texas Women's University, as well as the county commissioner, or the county sheriff's office, and the Texas Department of Public Safety. Despite the restrictions of Prop B, those who voted in favor see the passing of Proposition B as a progress for the City of Denton. Thanks, guys. See you back to you at the desk.
Winning $2 billion is something we all dream of. I certainly do. But what would come next? Reporter Jake Rayner talks to a tax attorney about the legal side of winning a lottery drawing.
come forward more.
$2 billion. Something we say when we want to over-exaggerate the price of something. But actually being in possession of that kind of cash can feel unfathomable.
I would think second to their family members, it's their most prized possession at this point.
Good luck. Whoever has that golden ticket, the record-setting Powerball jackpot, has a year to come forward to claim it. But before they do,
I would never tell someone right now to say, hey, I'm going to fill out that individual claim form and say, okay, I'm going to go claim it next week. You know, that would be the worst thing they could do.
Instead, you might listen to an experienced tax attorney like Kurt Panusis, who has worked with dozens of lottery-winning clients with winnings of $1 million up to $500 million.
Bring in someone that has some experience with these types of wins, so that way you have a proven quarterback, per se.
Hiring a lawyer is one of many steps the California Lottery spells out in its winner's handbook, along with taking pictures and selfies with the ticket and hiring a financial advisor. After you have all your ducks in a row, sign the ticket, and officially claim it, the California Lottery vetting process gets underway, and it's intense.
We have a huge team of investigators that ask a lot of questions, and they take several weeks, sometimes months, depending on the circumstances. So it's going to be a while before we know who this winner is.
Under California law, the lottery is required to release the winner's first and last name, but that's the only personal information they can disclose. However, Panusis says he'll always be a proverbial shield for his clients, no matter what.
You can work with the lottery officials many times to protect someone's safety. And as long as they comply with their regulations, you know, there's some ways to kind of, I don't want to say expand the rules, but just, you know, play within the rules.
Thank you, Jake. If I ever win the lottery, I'll make sure hiring a lawyer is the first thing I do.
So my career of investing in lottery tickets is over, and it could have been a success. Where did I go wrong?
Well, you may not have had luck with the lottery, but you may have luck with the weather. Let's go to our weather anchor, Gabby Carden, for some lucky numbers. Gabby?
Thanks, y'all. Now, we did not hit the lottery with these temperatures unless you like the cold, so I'm going to talk about that in just a sec. But right now, the current conditions in North Texas are pretty nice. We have Fort Worth at 72, Denton at 61, and also some nice weather in Sherman and Paris at 69 degrees. But as we look across the state map, you're going to see some varying temperatures right now in this 6 o'clock hour. We have Austin and Houston, sorry, I almost mixed up the two, at 77 degrees. And Oklahoma City, like I said earlier, some severe storms right now, but also cold temperatures at 53 degrees, which is where we're going to be in the next few days. So take a look at this 7-day forecast. Now, don't freak out. Yes, the temperatures are going to get cold, but this is when you start getting your jackets and your gloves and all that good stuff. We are going to have rain tonight, 80% chance. It's going to carry in through tomorrow, 48% chance of rain all day tomorrow. And then as we hit the weekend, we're going to have cloudy conditions and highs in 54 degrees. Come Monday, we're going to also have an 89% chance of rain, so more rain to come, and a high of only 44 degrees. So I'm probably not leaving my house on Monday either. But Tuesday and Wednesday, continuing those cloudy conditions with highs in 50 and 51 degrees. So as you can see, we don't even break out of the 55-degree mark all this next 7 days. So get your jackets, guys. That's all I have for weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Gabby. Well, with this weather change, I'm going to have to buy some new clothes.
Well, our segment anchor, Courtney Hill, might have a recommendation to help with that. Courtney?
Thanks, you guys. If you're looking for a trendy spot to buy new clothes, I have a treat for you. This week, I got to check out a local Black-owned business in the Dallas area. Let's take a look. These unique eyeball characters are the symbol of the brand Vermeer Clothing, a clothing brand that later turned into its own storefront. I got to sit down with Aang, the creator and owner of Vermeer Market.
So like I say, I do actually draw all of my designs.
Okay.
So I come up with this very loose concept of a situation, and then I see how I can fit my characters into that situation.
Okay.
Sketch it out the best I can. I'm not Walt Disney. I ain't gonna lie. I can't just freehand do something crazy, but I can get the point across to where it'll look good as a scene or whatnot. So from that point, I just get it digitized, and then if I want color on it, I get the color added and get it put onto these clothes, whether it's embroidered or screen print or heat press or whatever.
Aang told me that the eyeballs tell different stories on the items he puts out. He sells hoodies, t-shirts, hats, and honestly, any other clothing item you can think of, and each one of them has his unique eyeballs attached to them. Do you have a favorite piece?
I know if people who shop with me had a favorite piece, it'd be my bucket hats.
Okay.
Like everybody loved the bucket hats.
The store also sells other local brands in the area. I got to speak with Lucky, someone who has her brand in the store.
Find out what you got to give to the world, you will be surprised how they can bring light to others. So it's about shining your internal light to be making everything around you in those better. So I'm hoping to bring more light on that, and hopefully we get more people out and into the mix and vibe with us, because all we want is the best for everybody. We all can eat some love success out here for everybody.
Make sure to check out Vermeer Market in your free time. That's all I have for you. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Courtney. The top toys of 2022 have been named. See if your favorite childhood toy made it to the list. Coming up after the break.
And could your preference for dogs or cats predict your personality? More on that later on in the show.
Has the weight of stress and anxiety ever felt too heavy to overcome? Wish there was a safe place to confide in? Wish granted. At UNT, we offer counseling and testing services to students located on the 3rd floor of Chestnut Hall. UNT, we're here for you.
Well, it's time people are thinking about Christmas, and that always means toys. So it's appropriate the 2022 National Toy Hall of Fame inductees have been announced. Did you play with these toys in your childhood? A spinning top, Light Bright, and Masters of the Universe action figures. Well, a 23-member committee of toy experts, including the public voting online, announced the winners. Those 3 beat out 9 other finalists, including Bingo and the Nerf. A Hall of Fame spokesman says the winning toys have stood the test of time and influenced our culture. And speaking of toys, if you are feeling generous this upcoming holiday season, the annual Toys for Tots drive began on October 1st and will continue until December 15th. With more information, our reporter, Andrea Valdez, has more. Andrea, how can we help out?
Thanks, Olivia. Now, before we get into that, I actually would like to give a special shout out to the Toys for Tots. They're actually celebrating 75 years of serving communities. And now you may have seen a lot of their boxes out in shopping centers and in other public places. In fact, in 2021, on the local level, the Aubrey's Toys for Tots distributed almost 150,000 toys supporting nearly 40,000 children. Now, Toys for Tots takes in volunteers to make sure that every child receives a toy at Christmas time. And if you are interested in helping out, then be on the lookout for the Toys for Tots boxes located in the Denton, Cook, Wise, Montague, and Wichita counties. And again, the boxes look similar to these, and here to give us more information is Joe Hammer. Now, Joe, thank you so much for joining us today.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you.
So earlier we actually talked about your participation with Toys for Tots. You've been here since 2007. What did your involvement look like back in 2007 compared to now?
Well, starting out as a young private out there collecting donations and monetary donations and just working the little locations, and now it's collecting toys, doing different venues and different events, and basically ensuring that any type of issues are corrected and just all over the place. A little bit of everything.
And getting into how people can actually get involved in helping out. I know that donating is one of those ways that people can help, but what are some other ways that people can help?
Aside from assisting your local campaign and being able to donate what you can, you can volunteer at your local warehouse, and even even helping in your own community, it helps. It goes a long way.
Now, are there any qualifications or requirements in order to apply to receive these services?
Yes, actually. So you just go to toysfortots.org, you find your local campaign, and then there's the apply here section. Go ahead and apply. Everybody falls on hard times, and sometimes people just need help. And I've even needed help as well. And then you'll get a kickback with an approval letter, and you just go from there.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. I'm going to go ahead and throw it back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Andrea. You know, I had the chance to go and watch the UNT women's basketball team practice the other day, and I have to say, I'm glad I'm not playing against them.
Well, our sports anchor, Armando Berry, can tell you who will be challenging them on the court. Armando, what do you have for us?
Hey, Austin and Olivia. Many teams will be popping out to play the rest of the week. I'll explain what these matchups mean when we come back from break. The UNT women's basketball team is back in the Super Pit tonight for the regular season opener against Texas A&M Texarkana. Their last match was an exhibition against Texas A&M International last Thursday, where the Mean Green dominated 87-66. So it looks like UNT will be looking to send another A&M school tonight with an L. Tip-off at the Super Pit is set for 6:30 p.m. The road to AT&T Stadium begins tomorrow night as high school athletes across Texas try to cement their school in history with a state championship. Plenty of round one matchups can be found in the Denton area within a 30-minute drive, and we've got the games for all you Friday Night Light lovers. Starting out for the list is Lake Worth versus Alvarado at Apogee Stadium, Allen versus Louisville when they're at home at Max Goldsmith Stadium, Dayton Geyer hosting Flower Mound Marcus at C.H. Collins Athletic Complex, and Argyle hosting Fort Worth O.D. Wyatt at their Eagle Stadium. If you're not able to make it out to any of those games, but you want to stay updated, I'm going to be covering Louisville-Allen game via my Twitter at ArmandoBerry6. The Mean Green football team will be taking on their last road trip of the season, and a win stamps UNT in CUSA title talk. The Mean Green are taking on UAB in Birmingham in Week 11, and a win would clinch UNT an appearance in the conference title game. Head coach Seth Luttrell and defensive back Quinn Whitlock spoke about the team's momentum coming into this weekend's upcoming opportunity.
1-0. It's all about. It's truly all about UAB this week. I think if you play the way we're gonna have to play really good football. UAB's a really good football team. They're very well coached. They're a very physical team.
We really putting it together right now. That's what something that Coach Luttrell really talked about a lot. Once we really put it all together, we're gonna be a scary football team, man.
Kickoff is set for Saturday at 2:30 p.m. That's Look at Sports for tonight. Austin, back to you.
Thanks, Armando. Hey, I got a question for you real quick. Are you more of a dog person or a cat person?
I am definitely a dog person. I have a dog named Roscoe back home, and I cannot wait to see him for Thanksgiving break.
I'm the same way. I've got a dog back at home as well, and I love him to pieces. Well, did you know that having a dog or a cat or another type of animal can all depend on your personality, especially when it comes to relieving stress? We have Mandy Gaither with more.
Whether it's the wagging tail, soft fur, or unconditional love, in times of stress, a canine can and often does bring comfort. But
people often ask, why not cats?
Patricia Pendry wanted to answer that question. In a study, she and her co-author not only researched whether people would be open to comfort cats being brought in during times of stress, but also who's more likely to have a fondness for felines.
We found that the trait, a personality trait that we refer to as emotionality, was strongly associated with one's interest in interacting with cats.
Pendry says those studied were more likely to report being open to cats if they experienced strong emotions and reacted strongly to a feeling or an experience. She says further study is needed to find out why, but Pendry believes highly emotional people may be more attuned to a cat's subtle behaviors.
We often hear, oh, people don't want to interact with cats. Dogs are always preferred. I'm hoping that people can recognize that that is definitely not true. And
so does that mean cats should be incorporated into comfort animal visitation programs? Pendry says not necessarily.
we want to be careful to make sure that we work with animals for whom this is a positive experience rather than bringing stress to the animals.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
All right, Olivia, I've got a very important question for you. Are you a dog or a cat person?
Well, I believe I'm a dog person. They're kind of needy. You need to walk them, feed them, cuddle with them, but I think I fit the bill.
I'm glad you said you're not a cat person. Cats are not it. Dogs are definitely the thing.
Definitely. Okay, I'm glad to see that we're all sane. Thanks for watching ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again Monday here on North Texas Television.